Call the meeting to order. Matt, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Flag right down.
I'll pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just as a reminder, this is our public participation policy, and this was put into action about a year ago. Meetings of the Pickens County Board of Elections and Registration are held to conduct the affairs and business of the Office of Elections and Registration. These meetings are public as provided by the Georgia Open Meetings Act. While the Act does not make a provision for public participation during a meeting, Pickens County citizens will be invited to address the board at all regular meetings at the time shown on the agenda and in accordance with the rules established. The rules are, citizens will be given 5 minutes to make their comments. Citizens may submit additional concerns in writing to the members of the board. Citizens may only speak once per stated meeting. Public participation will not exceed 30 minutes in total. The board will not permit anyone to become personally abusive of individual board members and board employees or any other audience member. The board will not respond to comments or questions posed by citizens in their presentations, but will take those comments and questions under advisement.
Approval of agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve agenda.
Second.
I have a motion duly seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Agenda is approved.
Meeting minutes. We jumped a little bit. Meeting minutes. You can just approve the minutes.
Okay.
Motion to approve the minutes from July 19 and July 26 meetings.
Second.
I have a move and a second for the approval of the minutes of July 19th and 26 special meetings. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. They are approved. New business.
Old business, none.
There is no old business, so new business. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read a statement. I would like to update the public on 2 court-related matters involving our board. First, as you know, the local judges have recused themselves from the Morris suit. It has now been assigned to Judge Brantley, a senior judge out of Cobb County. He met with the attorneys yesterday, and that case is set to go to trial on September 19th. As that case is pending, we will not comment further on it. The other court-related matter involves our motion on July 19th to file a petition in Superior Court to unseal the ballots of the May 2022 primary for hand tabulation. The Morris suit must be final before that petition can be filed. And it may be that that ruling in the Morris suit resolves our July 19th motion. Once the Morris suit is final, we will assess the need for the filing of that petition, and we will keep you updated in the meantime should there be any changes. Okay. Discussion of board compensation policies.
Okay, so that's one that I brought up. So that travel and compensation policy we came up with early on in this board's tenure. We didn't know a lot of things, but most of it is fine. I don't have an issue with it. I think the pay is fine for that. And again, for all the board members, new ones included, we reduced the amount of that pay down in order to have more in the budget to accommodate a poll worker appreciation event. And so think in time, we will be including that as part of, or at least attempt to get that put into a line item for our budget. But at this point, that's why we reduced that pay down.
Mike, if you'll let me say, we voted to change the board compensation policy back in March of this year to going down from $75 a meeting to $50 a meeting. That actually saves, and we already put it in a line item.
Okay, good.
We had it approved in November of last year, but that $25 per board member for 12 months averages out to $1,500 a year. And that is what we are currently paying for the poll worker lunches and the waters that we do on election days.
Okay.
That $1,500 is being used for that right now.
Hey, Mike, sorry, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but we can't hear back here. Can y'all speak up just a little bit?
So as far as one of the issues that came up with recently is that during elections, we had in our bullet point here for early voting that each board member would be compensated for a single day while we were at, for early voting. Not all of the days, but one day through, and I think part of that is some people were there almost every day, but other folks, board members, would show up for 2 or 3 hours. One day, maybe 30 minutes, another day, maybe an hour. It was on and off because it was a 3-week period. I don't know all of the particulars, so I'll let you speak to that, but apparently finance doesn't know how to compensate us for that. And so I thought that this would be a good time to bring this up as maybe an adjustment that we might need to review, and I would hope that our chair would be willing to go and talk to finance and the commissioners to work out something that works between the board and that works okay with finance, that will deal with that. Nothing that we're going to, again, this is discussion, not a vote. The only other thing that I would bring up through this, and I'll get to you in a second, was the when we are traveling around on election day, you know, we're going a lot between, at least when we have the 12 precincts, between 3 or 4 precincts each.
Several times a day.
Several times a day, and then back to the office to grab lunch, and then back to those. And I know that Larry and I, you've spoken, and you had some concerns about the amount of, you were feeling like you were taking a loss, and I don't want any board member to necessarily get rich, that we're not in it for the money. But I do think that we should not go in the hole for helping out. So I thought that on election day, when we're doing that type of activity, we should be paid a mileage. So
I'll jump in on that. In my case, I've got a farm to take care of, horses and livestock and such, but I have to go back and forth. So I'm going to one end of the county and then back to the other far end of the county. So in the course of a day's time, I burn up a half a tank to 3/4 of a tank of gas. You know what it costs to fill up a tank now. So that is a day that we go in the hole that we're talking about, and that's multiple trips back and forth through the course of the day in case somebody needs something, delivering lunches, you know, all those kinds of things that we'll do through the normal course of the day. And I'll jump in on what Mike said is we shouldn't have to go in the hole for serving on this board. And yeah, I'm happy to do it. However, you know, finance needs to understand what the implications are as we go forward. And it may be a situation where we might want to form a committee and put together some spreadsheets for finance to look at to how we can approach the budget come November.
and I'm game, but I'll let you go ahead and explain the finance issue.
Yeah, after speaking to finance
Well,
Finance asked me to send them the copy where we actually voted on the new board participation policy back in March, and I sent them a copy of that. They asked me to send the minutes where we approved it, and then she asked for me to send her documentation because there does have to be a paper trail of when each board member was at the day they worked early voting. But because I have no record of the days that board members went, I had nothing to submit to her, which is where she said, I can't just let you submit pay for board members when we don't know when they were there. So I think the solution to that would possibly be just a sign-in sheet, or for a board member, you know, to let me know what days they work, so that way I have paper documentation to provide to finance. And after speaking with Mike, you know, I talked to her about the fact that board members do travel in between the different precincts. She said she had no problem with us doing mileage from precinct to precinct. We would just have to document from point A to point B, and then from point B to point C in order to be able to
Have the
reimburse for the
documentation.
mileage.
Okay.
So I don't, unless the board decided to change something, I think that would address each one of the situations. It's just, you know, with us having the new policy in March, we didn't really know that we needed to start keeping the documentation of what days the board members were there each day, and now we will know to do that.
Okay, is there anything that you think, based on what you saw, where we need to add a mileage piece for election day? Or is it inclusive of travel and training? Because they're kind of separated.
It's separated in there, and I think it does specify that in-county training you don't get paid mileage for, so that might be something that we need to adjust in the policy, is put for election day, board members will be compensated for travel in between the precincts and to the elections office.
But not travel from your home to the
No,
first precinct.
just between precincts
Yeah.
and back
And the
and forth to the
office.
office and precinct. Okay. I'm getting with that. I mean, that's a minor change, and if they're good, I'm okay with providing documentation. It's just I didn't know what it was they were gonna need
So
in the
if the
future.
board wants to add that to the agenda for next month, we can put that on there to put it to a vote then.
Okay. Motion to table it till next time.
Yeah, I mean, this,
Some
yeah,
additional information.
just a discussion. So we can table. Second.
Have a motion duly seconded to table this discussion on the board compensation policy until next month's meeting, at which time, hopefully, we can have the forms and the direction from the
Finance.
finance
And then-
department that we can use to see that this gets done.
And I think that the poll workers really do appreciate us doing that.
Oh, I know they do.
The lunches and the waters, you know, that's something that we've not ever been able to offer them before, and it gives them, you know, a little bit of compensation for them being there all day long.
Oh, no, I heard all kinds of good comments about that.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion? Okay, thank you.
Vote.
Vote.
Oh,
Vote
carry
for motion.
over to the next meeting. Now, we can vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you, Board. Staff comments?
Well, since we just met last week, I don't have a whole lot, but I did want to update the board. The Secretary of State has started providing us with a summer training session. It's twice a week, and they're hitting some topics that are really helpful to us that we haven't had so far. So Rhonda and I have been doing those on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We found out this week that Jarvis is still a go. They're planning on getting it ready for next year. So the Secretary of State is doing a training session for offices in January. So Rhonda and I will be participating.
You mean
in
they're
that.
not gonna try and run it in right here at the election?
Not right here at the general election.
Is your training Zoom?
The state training
Yeah.
that we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays is by Zoom. Yeah, the conference that we're doing for Jarvis will be in person, and it'll be in January. And then qualifying is currently going on for the Nelson City Council special election. It will continue until tomorrow at 4:30. Just a reminder that the first day to submit an absentee ballot will be August the 22nd. And hopefully we'll be able to start moving some things to our new office starting next week, if everything goes as planned right now. But we'll still keep the 83 Pioneer Road location open until we get fully moved.
So is there somebody are you guys holding the qualifying? You guys are doing
Yes,
that?
we hold the qualifying
You had
for all
any
municipalities.
candidates come in already?
We've had 2.
Okay.
That's all.
All right, at this time, we'll take public comments.
Jim Burke from Big Canoe. Could you explain somehow how the Morrow case relates to our case? And, you know, why ours would be affected by it?
I'm not comfortable commenting on it.
Can't hear you, Mr.
We
Landrum.
can't
Comment on pending
Okay, you
litigation.
can't hear it there. They can't comment on it. No, they can't. Comment on it.
Anyone else? Gary?
First off, hey guys, my name is Gary Norman. Again, a citizen of Pickens County, very concerned citizen. And I can tell you from interacting with a lot of citizens here in Pickens County, we've got a lot of people who are very confused about what has transpired since June 8th. One of the biggest questions that I get asked is who's running the Pickens County Board of Elections? Is it the Board of Election members or is it Mr. Landrum? And I don't mean that in any disrespect at all, but the citizens are confused. If you take into account the fact that on June 8th, we asked for the hand recount, and essentially everyone on the board agreed in principle that it was reasonable and to pursue it contingent upon the legalities of it, and you wanted to do it the right way. And then we fast forward to you guys approving the hand recount on July 14th, and at that meeting, we expected to get a court order written by July 22nd. And here we are now on August 2nd, and you guys, and again, I mean this in all respect, now you guys can't comment. You've agreed to it, you've disagreed to it, and I guess at this point, since you're not going to comment, it's more of a statement from me than anything, but the citizens are frankly very concerned. As a sidebar to the attorney issue, and again, I'm not an attorney, but I'm just a citizen. Mr. Landrum is the county attorney, and you guys are using the county attorney as your attorney. There seems to be a conflict of interest there, and I think that's something that should be looked into. And I submit these comments respectfully, and I hope that you will get back with us promptly. Thank you.
Okay. Any further comments?
All right, so the Board of Elections, Pat Johnston, Pickens County, concerned citizen. So you claim, are you claiming that the law forbids it, or is it contingent upon the outcome of this supposed trial assigned to the judge in Cherokee County or Cobb County? Is there a code annotated? Is there a statute that you can point to, or is it strictly case law? Or because we're supposed to have a proposed order, and now like we're in limbo, and it's like play out the clock, time out, just run the clock out. How about a proposed order to save all the ballots? That's what I propose. Maybe you should discuss this beyond the 22 months of the federal requirement. You do not destroy these ballots.
Nobody's destroying ballots. 22 months, we're talking about the primaries, what you guys are asking for, right?
Right. But now, because, somebody threw like a little bomb into, we can't comment. Well, you certainly could, because each individual has their own complaint to bring forth. So that's my 2 cents.
I'd like to say,
just echo the concern that we have the county attorney acting as the Board of Elections attorney. I think there's an inherent conflict of interest. Oh, you can't hear me either?
Can you please state your name?
Is it Kim? Last name is Bunker, like Archie or Hill or Golf. Whichever one fits.
Archie.
Archie.
Night.
Yeah. So I really am concerned that we have one attorney acting on both behalves. You can't do that. It's a conflict of interest. It's inherent. Yes, it is. It is. And earlier he had a comment to Mr. Burke's question, and I couldn't even hear what he said. And even in the last meeting, he speaks so low and mumbles, more than half of us couldn't understand what he said, which seems a little intentional and concerning. We want to know what's going on clearly. What is the clear legal line? It's very easy. Either you can do it or you can't produce it. If you can't produce it, that's a problem.
I'm Margaret Smith, and we were just wondering what happened between the last meeting held on July 14th and tonight that is responsible for the holdup. We're just wondering what it is. If you can comment on that, we'd appreciate it.
The other court matter, court-related matter involves our motion on July 19th to file a petition in Superior Court to unseal the ballots of the May 22nd primary and tabulation. The Morris suit must be final before that petition can be filed. And it may be that that ruling in the Morris suit resolves our July 19th motion.
So does that mean it's filed or it's heard? This case?
Well, the Morris suit has been filed.
There's two pieces of language in there, filed
Ours
and
has not
heard.
been filed.
We can get it.
Okay, so it is filed, and now do we have an expected time that we're going to have any movement on that?
The Morris suit is set to go to trial on September the 19th.
Right.
Do you know the case number on that?
I don't.
Can we find that out?
Is the basis of that suit in line with what we're talking about for, which you approved for reviewing the votes?
Can you please state your name?
Can
Can you state your name?
Yes, Robert Smith. You know, there's court procedures every day. It's the basis of that lawsuit similar to what we are going after. A simple question, because, you know, suits go on every day and they may go right up to the Supreme Court, and everyone is unique, and they need an answer, a unique answer for Pickens County, for any other county. So it shouldn't hold up anything related to what we're after and what you approved.
I wish I could tell you more, but quite frankly, we cannot talk
Well,
about
here's the lawyer,
current
county
litigation.
lawyer. Can he add anything to our knowledge base?
I'm not commenting on the county case.
Pardon me?
Can you speak up too?
I said I am not commenting on the county case. We have said we're not commenting on the pending litigation.
I can't hear you. Could you repeat that?
I said I am not commenting on a pending litigation. That case, Mr. Olds and I will discuss that in court, and that's where it'll be settled.
Well, is the statement I just made true or false?
They are intertwined. I'm not commenting. I told you I'm not commenting on that case.
What case number is it?
I have the case number. May I tell them? Okay, it's 20022 SUCV 0327.
Repeat.
Can you be sure? 2022, so 2022 SUCV 0327.
It's a B, not a V, right?
No, a V like Victor.
Victor.
Yeah. U like utility, C like cat, V like Victor.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Could you give me the last bit of that, the numbers after the
Sure.
SUV?
Sure. No. It's
SUV.
not SUV.
No, it's not.
God, it's weird. Okay. All right, I'm going to start at the beginning.
Okay.
2022, so this year. Then S like Sam, S like Sam, U like utility, C like cat, V like Victor, 0327. Got it?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, not an F, it's an S, not an F.
No, S like Sam.
S like Sam.
Yeah.
Your agenda says public comment, but I want to respect the board. I'm not a citizen, so can I, of Pickens County, can I continue?
Please do.
I want to say I've watched Mr. Landrum for years represent this county in many different ways. I respect what he's saying tonight, and as a little bit of friction in the room, I understand what he has to say. But I have attended these meetings. I just have some questions that you obviously probably won't answer. The Mora suit was in place last month when you came. It was well aware, Mr. Lantham probably already had a copy or maybe have seen it. You were well aware it was in place when you came. But yet you proceeded knowing it was in place. You proceeded intending, and I think if memory serves me right and we look at the video, I think your motion was a direction to the county attorney with no apprentices saying if the Morris suit is dropped, or do this after the Morris suit is heard. So I don't think so. Knowing all this when you came into the room, I'm just a little confused by it. I have to say that now tonight I heard the board make a statement, so obviously somewhere you guys had some conversation, or maybe you did, and you all came into agreement and understanding before tonight's meeting that you're going to put yours on hold. Now, I'm not hearing you put yours on hold based on case file or law that's been cited. I didn't hear anybody stand up and say, the state of Georgia says this is the law, you could go read it, that we cannot proceed until case A is completed. I didn't hear that. And if memory serves me right, and I'm correct if there's something wrong about this, where in the court system can cases not run simultaneously or even join ranks and go together? So I'm a little confused on why you didn't move forward, because I'll finalize with this. All I'm saying, and I mean respectfully, I know Mr. Landrum, and I know several of you people. You're good people. At the end of the day, you're good people, okay? Pickens County is a great place. But what I'm confused about is you gave direction in your motion. Not with any, if this, you gave very clear direction. My concern is if Mr. Lantham can't do it based on any reason, should you reach outside? Now, I'm not calling it a conflict. I don't know. Only the citizens here can decide when they brought up conflict. But why didn't the attorney just do the instruction, and how did you get to where you're at tonight, I think is the biggest question these people have. I'm sorry if I took too much of your time. Very good.
Anyone else?
What's your name?
Brian Pritchard.
Anyone?
I have a general question. Can Mr. Landrum state the facts and controversy of the suit? No, just what the controversy is pertaining to, not any legal commentary, just what the complaint is.
Says he won't comment.
So, we don't know the questions.
Four comments. Anyone?
I have nothing this evening.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. I have a motion, give a second to adjourn. Any discussion? All in favor? Thank you.